Alright guys, what is going on? How you all doing this evening? Once again, this is the Club of the Man 1993. The clock has struck midnight here, but we are still up, and we are live for one of the last pay-per-view reviews I have to do. We only have a couple left before I'm completely caught up with my pay-per-view reviews that I missed out on reviewing on my YouTube hiatus. So, we are now on the Royal Rumble 2020 pay-per-view. This took place back on January 26th at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Home of the 2017 World Series World Series champions, Houston Astros. Again, this is the second year that the Royal Rumble was hosted inside of a baseball stadium. Next year, it's supposed to be in T-Mobile Park, home of the Seattle Mariners, as I said before. See yourself in a live chat, Tyler, as you said in the previous stream. Overall, let's put it this way. I didn't really have super high expectations going into this pay-per-view. I wasn't expecting anything special. I was expecting some disappointments. There was some stuff heard rumors about that I was expecting, but I was not expecting the results and, the excitement I felt coming out of this show. This was an up and down show. It was one of those things where definitely whatever happens in the future definitely impacted how I looked at this show. And I can still look back and say this was definitely an awesome show. It was a really great show. Both Rumble matches were good to excellent, I will say. Most of the matches on the undercard delivered. The only one, besides the pre-show matches that I didn't watch, the only one that I really was not much of a fan of at all, I would say on the main card, was the SmackDown Women's title match, which didn't really expect it to hit out of the ballpark for me either, because it wasn't really anything special for me. We'll get into the show. Yes, that comeback was epic, Tyler, and also Brock should put the title on the line in the Rumble match. We'll talk about that when we get to the Rumble match itself. So, of course, before as always, we gotta talk about the matches on the pre-show, which I did not watch. The first match was, and I'll say his real name, the name that it should be, Chad Gable taking on Sheamus, or as that's how I would call the match. But the WWE, this is Sheamus versus Shorty G. I already ranted about this name. It's absolutely horrible. It's stupid. It's insulting. Again, Chad Gable is not short. He's slightly shorter than the average height for a man, which I still say is about like 5'11", 6 foot. I'd say probably. I'm 6'1", but Chad Gable is like what, 5'9"? Daniel Bryan's 5'10". Andrade Cien Almas is 5'9". Rey Mysterio is 5'6". Lio Rush is 5'6". I don't think Ricochet's much taller than Chad Gable. All these guys are short, yet he's the one that gets the whole he is short gimmick and whatnot. All just to make Vince McMahon laugh and just to bury Chad Gable and sabotage him, basically. Because he got over in the King of the Ring tournament this year. And yeah. Why was this on the Rumble? As for like a low card, feud for SmackDown or something? Yeah. But as far as an actual feud for the Rumble? No. Sheamus won as expected. This was his first actual match back since he returned from his injury. Hasn't done anything since because he was supposed to be in the Elimination Chamber match that they out of the blue never happened because the results of the Universal Championship match changed at Super Showdown. So because of that, we've had no Sheamus since, except for the fact he beat both Apollo Crews and Chad Gable in a 2-on-1 handicap match, yet Apollo Crews thought he could beat Sheamus on his own. Didn't happen either. So Sheamus won this. Didn't see it. Do not care. The second match we've had how many pay-per-views now, was a U.S. title match this time because Andrade was U.S. champion, but Andrade Cien Almas taking on Humberto Carrillo. Didn't see the match. Andrade retained, though. Their best match was definitely at the Elimination Chamber, which we'll talk about that when we get to that pay-per-view, probably the next few days. So that was the pre-show. Also on the pre-show, R-Truth thought it was time for the Rumble match, even though he was not in it. We still have over an hour and a half though left of the kickoff. Oh, my bad. We got to the main card though. Opening match, I expected this to be the opening match because both these guys were in the men's Rumble later on. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a Falls Count Anywhere match. It's still sad to say that this was not the blow-off match. This should have been the blow-off match, but it was not because of what King Corbin cried about, which I will talk about when it comes up. This match was better than I expected it to be. The crowd was a little more into this, is what I expected to be as well. It was what we expected, an all-out brawl around the ring. Rude and Ziggler got involved first. Emphasize that. Rude and Ziggler got involved first. It will really emphasize how much of an idiot they make Corbin look like, especially with the promo that he had cut backstage later on in this show. And I'll literally mock him again, as I always do. And then the Usos got involved to save him. Like, my favorite spot of this match was the spot where Jimmy Uso jumped over the bleachers, or whatever it was, came down to take out Ziggler and Rude. That was awesome. There was a spot where I was getting the Raw is Porta Potty nightmare. Roman attacked Corbin, threw him into a Porta John, and then pushed it, eventfully knocked it over, and we thought Corbin was going to come out. The story is, with Corbin constantly humiliating Roman Reigns with the whole dog food stuff, this is kind of like Corbin getting his compass to get, I expected to come out of that Porta John with all that blue on him like Kevin Owens did when Braun Strowman dumped it on him. That's what I was expecting. Instead, Corbin didn't even come with one drop on him, and I'm like, okay, what was the point of that spot? But as expected, the match finished on top of the dugout. Reigns speared Corbin. He gets the win. We're hoping that was the end of the feud, right? No, it was not. I'll talk about this more when we get to this segment. Roman won. Hoping to be end of the feud was not. But, match was acceptable. I wouldn't say it was amazing. It was better than what I thought it would be, and the crowd was a little more into than I thought it would be. So I'll say it was solid. Decent or solid, I would say. Nothing special, but, it is what it is. Backstage, we have Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe talking. Owens is feeling good, as Houston has been good to him in the past. Joe reminds him, though, he has his back with Seth Rollins. But if he stands his way in the Rumble match, he'll go right through him. Basically, every man for himself. We're friends, but it's every man for himself. We also have Kayla Braxton talking to Fire and Desire. Sonya said she'll throw herself out over Mandy. With what's happened since, I don't get why she said that. But next up we got was the Women's Royal Rumble match. Here's the thing. I was afraid of the results for the Men's Rumble match. I was not as worried about the women. But last year, again, in the 2019 Rumble match, there were some surprises, but it felt like there was actual depth in that match. Why did this one? I didn't feel like there was much depth in it for some reason. Because I looked at the list of the 30 entrants again. Out of the 30 of them, 15 of them were either free agents, meaning they were inactive, they were just one-off appearances, or from NXT UK or NXT. Where was the depth? What happened? There was some injuries, yes, but to me it was just just shows how there's no depth in this women's division. But we still got a fun match, I thought. And NXT, of course, shined in it. The number one entrant was Alexa Bliss. The number two entrant was one of the biggest stars of this match, I thought. Bianca Belair. Bianca was the Iron Woman of this match. I think she was in the longest, and she dominated. She had a really, really great performance in this match, for sure. Number 3 was Molly Holly, who came out as Mighty Molly. She had a pretty good showing in this match, I thought. The 4th entrant was Nikki Cross. The number 5 entrant, who was it? Bobby, you're amazing. You're my hot. Gosh, I'm coughing after doing that voice. You're my hot boyfriend. Now, husband, read this vows word for word, and you are gonna be following me around. I am gonna be wearing the pants in this relationship, and gosh. When I watched the last year's Rumble matches for my retro reviews earlier today, and I saw how Lana got this huge pop, I just looked at it and was like, what the heck happened here? She went from getting the biggest pop, everybody loving Lana, to Lana literally having like Baron Corbin or Jinder Mahal caliber, or for the women, for me, Alicia Fox caliber heat, where I'm like, get off of my TV. So she came out going, I'm the best wrestler in the world! And I'm just like, shut up, you're so freaking fake. She was number 5 entrant. Number 6, the first surprise, and, well, second surprise, but the first from NXT, the recently signed... I'm good. The recently signed Mercedes Martinez. I'm like, sweet, that was a good one. She came out there, and then we have number 7. It was Liv Morgan, and who did she go right after? Of course, Lana. She would eliminate Lana, but then Lana pulled her out of the match, and they started brawling because out of the blue, Liv Morgan randomly says, "I am Lana's secret lesbian lover" and whatnot. But then they never really. Again, I think they just threw her in just to have a woman team up with Rusev for a mixed match. Tag match, pretty much, because there was really never, actual teased love tension between these two, as I said, but we're not going to keep talking about those points, so thank goodness that was out of the way. Entry number 8 was Mandy Rose. Came out looking fine as ever, but she had a kind of a spotlight in this match as well, because of a moment she had. The number 9 entrant was Candice LeRae, in her second straight Rumble. She was in it last year as well. Bianca would then eliminate Molly Holly for her first elimination. But then Mandy Rose was almost eliminated by Alexa Bliss. And I really thought they were going to tease some type of tension or some type of thing, something to do with Mandy and Sonya in this match. I'm like, rats already, come on. But because it was weird, because Mandy was over the top rope, she's kind of just laid there, and then just went, and just rolled off. I'm like, what the, was that supposed to happen? I don't know, because it looked botched. Kind of like whenever John Cena accidentally eliminated Alex Riley from the 2011 Rumble match, because apparently, the rumors have it, Riley was supposed to eliminate Cena, which is why they had The Miz come out and promptly eliminate. But anyways, off track. Mandy lands on top of the guy who wants her so bad, Otis. She lands on top of Otis, obviously face forward into him. The only thing they could have kissed. I'm like, come on, give it to him. But it was a funny save. I enjoyed it. It was a nice. The crowd popped to it. It was freaking awesome. The way it was shot too is awesome. But she landed on top of him, stood up, and helped her back into the ring. And he remained out there to help her. Sonya Deville came out number 10, and then Fire and Desire teamed up though and eliminated Mercedes Martinez. I'm kind of like a little too soon to eliminate Mercedes. I mean, I get they wanted to try to have someone in there to make Fire and Desire look good. I don't know who could they taken out of the match. I don't know. I mean, maybe Nikki Cross, probably the weakest, or Candice. All in all, we want to see them get a reasonable time there. So I guess it was kind of like a lose-lose for somebody at least, unfortunately. Number 11 was Kairi Sane, one half of the women's tag team champions. Number 12 was Alma HBIC. Mia Yim came out. Number 12. I'm like, nice. That's a good surprise there. She came out, and then Bianca would then eliminate Nikki Cross. And then Mandy Rose, I think, was about to be eliminated, and I think Sonya accidentally eliminates Mandy Rose, I think it was, or something like that. And then Bianca would then throw out Sonya, who landed on when Mandy was accidentally eliminated by Sonya, Otis caught her. But then whenever Bianca eliminated I'm getting mixed up. When Bianca accidentally eliminated Sonya, she fell on top of Mandy and Otis, causing them both to be officially eliminated. Which I'm like, okay, I like that. I kind of maybe teasing that tension, but they haven't really gone with it since, unfortunately, because of this what's happened with WrestleMania's build. Number 13 was Dana Brooke. And then Bianca then eliminated Candice LeRae. And then Alexa Bliss then eliminated Kairi Sane, which I'm sad to see Kairi get eliminated so early. Number 14 is freaking Tamina. And I'm like, get her out. And thank you, Bianca, because she took care of her pretty quickly. Number 15, now here's was a missed opportunity. Number 15 was Dakota Kai. She wasn't in there too long. She was in there for about a minute and a half, though, because number 16 was Chelsea Green, and she came in there and immediately eliminated Dakota Kai, and then Chelsea got eliminated right after that. She wasn't in there that long either. That bothered me a little bit about Dakota Kai. I'll explain why shortly, because somebody else was in the match. Bianca then eliminated Dana Brooke, and then she also eliminated Alexa Bliss. Also, whenever Dakota came out, around this time, Mia Yim was eliminated by Alexa Bliss also. This is when Dakota came out. But at this point, Bianca Belair is the only one in the ring. She's dominated so far. She's had a lot of eliminations already. Number 17 was the Queen herself. Woo! Charlotte Flair came out. Obviously teasing for a future match we had on NXT between Charlotte and Bianca. Number 18 was Naomi making her return. The first time we've seen her since, I think it was July last year. She disappeared around the time the Usos did when they were being investigated for their DUIs or DWIs, whichever heck one it was. Whatever heck it is. So, she came out there. So that was a nice surprise seeing her back, because she had the puffy hair. Number 19 was Beth Phoenix, the Hall of Famer. Nice surprise. I thought she had a good showing in this match. She did get busted open nose, so a lot of her blonde hair turned red, unfortunately. I can't remember who it was who busted her open. Number 20, Toni Storm. Awesome. I thought she should have been in last year's Rumble, but she was in this year's. Fine by me. The NXT UK representative, I thought. Charlotte would then eliminate Bianca. Bianca had 8 eliminations. She was in there for quite a bit of time. I think either the longest or the second longest. So Charlotte was in there for the longest, but Bianca was in there for quite a bit of time. 8 eliminations. Very strong performance by Bianca. Definitely, even though she didn't win the match, probably the second or third best performance, I'd say, in this Women's Rumble match. For sure. Number 21 was Kelly Kelly. Now, apparently, originally, number 21 was supposed to be Sasha Banks, but Sasha Banks did have a nagging injury, so Kelly Kelly was called to replace her. So she came out at number 21. Number 22 was Sarah Logan. Didn't last long because Charlotte eliminated her, and then Charlotte also eliminated Kelly Kelly. So just like that, those two are gone. Number 23 was Natalya. Number 4 was Xia Li, who was also in last year's Rumble. It's good to see her back in his Rumble again. I thought she put on a great performance at last year's Rumble. Number 25 was Zelina Vega. And number 26 was Shotzi Blackheart. I wasn't really too crazy about this one. I mean, I guess she kind of got a little bit of pop because she eliminated Shayna Baszler in the number one contenders battle royale for the NXT Women's Championship, the one that Bianca had won to take on Rhea Ripley at Takeover Portland. I don't know. I would rather see maybe someone like Deonna Purrazzo maybe get this spot instead, or I don't know, maybe some other type of surprise. I don't know. Seeing Shotzi Blackheart, like, all right, cool, but now I'm just like, kind of a waste. I don't know, but she got a spot in this match. Naomi though lost her balance when walking down the steel steps, jumped on the barricade and saved herself. But then it was weird. She stood on top of one of the announce tables for a decent portion of the match after that. Is that a little bit more of like a heel move to me? I don't know. I wasn't a fan of her doing that. Like, she should have just gone right back into the match. Then, number 27 was Carmella. Number 28, okay, getting back to Dakota Kai. Number 28 was Tegan Nox. Like seeing her in this Rumble, but why did they not have her and Dakota kind of bring what's going on between them in this match? You know, they had them, you know, attack each other at Worlds Collide. Why couldn't they bring this to the Rumble? That was a big missed opportunity, I felt, that happened with this match. She came out at number 28. Number 29 was Santina Marella. This has been really like, you know, the gag moment. Santina comes out and basically just tries to, you know, team up with Beth Phoenix and Natalya, because Santino Marella had a history with them, Glamorella, or whatever you call them, and then realizing that she was screwed, pulled out the Cobra, punched herself in the face, the Cobra, and eliminated herself. I'm like, okay, we can go on with our lives now. So she eliminated herself, or he eliminated herself, and then out came number 30, Shayna Baszler. I'm like, if Shayna Baszler is not in this Women's Rumble match, then I was going to be pissed. Like, she should have been in last year's Rumble match. She most definitely, though, should be in this year's. If you don't have her in this time, like, what the heck? I wish she would have came in a little bit earlier, though. Her being a number 30 entrant, I'm like, she should have been there a little bit longer than what she was. But she was only in there for about 4.5 minutes. She still dominated. She tied Bianca in eliminations for this match with 8, which of course does hold the record right now for the Women's Rumble match. Both Bianca and Shayna are tied with 8. Shayna came in. She just went roughshod. She eliminated Xia Li, then Tegan Nox, then Zelina Vega, then Shotzi Blackheart. After that elimination, that's when Naomi jumped from the commentary table to the back into the ring, and she got back in. So then Carmella got eliminated by Shayna, and then Toni Storm got eliminated. She was in there for quite a bit, Toni. I'm glad she got a lot of time in there. And then Naomi also got eliminated by Shayna Baszler. So just like that, thanks to the monster-dominating performance by Shayna Baszler, the final 4 was Beth Phoenix, Natalya, who have been, the two of them have been working together for most of this match. Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Shayna Baszler, and Charlotte Flair. But then Beth turned on Natty and eliminated her, and then Shayna Baszler eliminated Beth Phoenix. So then it came down to Shayna and Charlotte. I wanted Shayna to win this. I'm like, please have it be Shayna. She would benefit from it. Charlotte, I'm like, okay, at some point Charlotte should win a Women's Royal Rumble. But it's not this Rumble. They went back and forth. Several times Charlotte almost got eliminated, but then Charlotte pulled herself back up, wrapped her legs around Shayna's neck, and pulled her over the top rope. And at the time, I was not really a fan of this. Charlotte Flair wins the Royal Rumble. Afterwards, she cuts a promo that, you know, she still is the queen of this women's division, blah, blah, blah. At the time, I was not a fan of this, because Bayley and Charlotte WrestleMania does not excite me. Becky and Charlotte, we've seen it how many times? Becky beat Charlotte how many times? There was nothing else to prove. But luckily, they wiped that out and gave us something different. A dream match. Something we actually do want to see. She's taking on Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. Okay, I love it. I can forgive this win now. I mean, I would have rather have seen Shayna win this, but you know what? At some point, Charlotte needed to win a Rumble, which I was fine with her winning a Rumble. I did think it should have been this one, though. But the fact that what she's doing with this to help elevate the NXT Women's Championship and hopefully put over Rhea at WrestleMania, I'm like, sweet. Sounds good to me. Dream match for sure. I'm fine with it. Still a good Rumble. I wouldn't say it was the best women's Rumble. I'd say it was probably the second best of the three so far. I just thought there was a lot of people who were eliminated pretty quickly in this Rumble. We did have some pretty dominant performances from NXT, though. Definitely with Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler. Charlotte looked good as well in this match. They gave Beth and Natty a lot of time also, I thought. But still, personally, crap. Why if I turn it off completely? Shoot. I just still think, I think with the lack of depth from the main roster also for this Rumble, kind of hurt a little bit. I was very surprised we didn't see Nia Jax return this Rumble. I really thought she was going to come back for the Rumble. I thought she would have been back by now, but she's not. Ruby Riott actually returned the following night on Raw, or the following week after that. She probably could have been in this Rumble instead also. I don't know why she wasn't, but still, it was still a good Rumble. And again, I can forgive Charlotte winning now because of the direction they're going with it. This is one of the things where I had to see where they're going with the games. Again, we've seen Becky and Charlotte how many times, and Becky has beaten Charlotte how many times. We've seen it would just be a slap in the face to see Charlotte get her win back at WrestleMania. Bayley and Charlotte does not interest me one bit whatsoever for WrestleMania. We've already seen that how many times as well. So Rhea and Charlotte, excellent. I love it. Check the live chat really quick here. Let me see here. Drew winning the Rumble was the right move for sure. Sheamus, the old look is better, but put some Sheamus and Cesaro back as the bar. Honestly, I'd rather have Sheamus and Cesaro together than Cesaro and this artistic collective. Anybody in there? Braun Strowman? LOL. Haha. Charlotte should pick Becky. I'm sorry, I disagree with that, man. I see in my reviews all you Charlotte haters out there. You kiss her. Again, I don't hate Charlotte. Again, the only time I could say I was definitely very against Charlotte was when they were trying to make her the baby face in the feud with Becky Lynch. I mean, other than that, I don't have a problem with Charlotte at all. She's not been, yeah, she has a lot of opportunities, but I wouldn't say she's been overbooked either. Who has been overbooked, I would still say, is Alexa Bliss. But, I don't hate Charlotte for sure, but it don't make sense for Charlotte to face Rhea. It was something different, though, I felt. Again, she wanted to elevate, she wanted to, do something different, and also go ahead and help elevate the women's division, and also, slap some reality into Rhea Ripley as well. And to remind her, hey, I established the division, not you, pretty much. But, it's my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine, man. We got that match. Okay, here we go now. Here's my little, mocking of Baron Corbin. So backstage, Corbin's being interviewed by Caleb Braxton about the hype up the Rumble match. And do you know what he says? It was not fair. The Usos got involved. I would have won that match if they didn't get involved. Roman Reigns can't beat me one-on-one. He can't beat me without the Usos. They're being big meanies to me. Dude, your cronies got involved first. If the Usos would have gotten involved first, then you have an excuse to accuse Roman of that. But they were out there to even the odds because your cronies came out first. And why is Baron Corbin not taking seriously? Because that's all he is. It didn't go my way. They were being a big old meanie. So because of that, it's set up for a steel cage match at Super Showdown. As I keep saying, I'm pretty sure this feud went on as long as it did because they were continuing trying to protect Roman Reigns from being booed because they knew what they're about to do was going to get him booed. But once again, Vince had to pull the trigger. But thank goodness Roman's not going to have the match because that match had been Goldberg for the title would have been booed out of the building. It would have been WrestleMania 20 all over again for Goldberg. And I'm pretty sure with him erasing that bad taste when he came back for his run in 2017, I'm pretty sure it would come right back to him. you know? But anyways, enough of that. Next was probably the weakest match on the show. Bayley and Lacey Evans. Again, I'm not digging this Lacey Evans babyface character at all whatsoever. This was a long, dragging feud also as well that took forever to get to. But of course, at some point, I'm sure Lacey did pin Bayley. But Bayley retained the title. It was pointless. I didn't expect much of it at all. This next match, though, was great. The Universal Championship match between Daniel Bryan and The Fiend Bray Wyatt in a strap match. Now, it was weird. I thought they should have, had the strap match for Roman and Corbin, since Corbin just runs away. Bray Wyatt does not run away, really. So this should have been like Falls Count Anywhere or something, but this was still a great match. It was vicious. It was physical. Bryan got beaten down like crazy by The Fiend for the first portion of the match, but then had like the comeback going. Having that performance where it looked like he could have beaten The Fiend, but still was not quite enough. As The Fiend did beat Daniel Bryan to retain the Universal Championship, and afterwards Bryan was, obviously just, got that standing ovation, but obviously was shaken down by The Fiend, for sure. Although it hasn't let him go to like a dark side or anyway, but it did lead to a feud with him and Drew Gulak, and now he's working with Drew Gulak, and I find it quite intriguing. So I didn't expect him to win this, but I thought he put on the performance that needed to happen. It needed to have a performance of Bryan looking like he could have won. He dominated a good portion of the match, and The Fiend dominated a good portion of the match. So to me, both these guys came out looking strong in this strap match, even though I felt that this should have been Falls Count Anywhere, and Reigns and Corbin should have been the strap match. After this, we had Becky Lynch versus Asuka. I like this idea to story how Becky wanted to prove herself against Asuka because she's the only person she has not been able to beat since her hot run. Because she lost to her at last year's Rumble. She lost to her. She got pinned by either her or Kairi Sane on an episode of Raw in a tag match. My chair feels weird right now. And then also, of course, she lost to them in that women's tag title TLC match at TLC. So she wanted to prove herself. Although, other than Asuka talking trash and spraying the green mist in her face, they didn't really build her up as much of a physical threat, though, for this feud. But the story was still, diggable and whatnot. And I thought they had a great match. I thought this was going to be a little bit better than their match at last year's Rumble. But, still good. Becky gets a win as expected. And we had a lot, of course, great counters with the submission maneuvers and such in it. To me, it did its job. Becky gets the win. Head off to WrestleMania. Even though, of course, Asuka would have one more challenge for her, and she challenged her again, which led to Shayna Baszler, official main roster debut, biting off Becky Lynch's neck, creating a big war between these two, as they're going to tear each other apart at WrestleMania. But we'll get to that, of course, later on. But that was match number 7. Alright. Main event time. The men's 30-man Royal Rumble match. I will say this. I went into this match concerned. With Charlotte winning the women's Rumble match. Again, I keep saying, Charlotte at some point should win a Royal Rumble match. Until the fallout I saw, at the time, I did not think this was the right match for the Rumble match for the win. And with, the Bayley and Lacey match kind of wore me down. I mean, Bryan and Bray got me excited again, and so did Becky and Asuka. But I'm like, oh dear. We're going to get Charlotte Flair and Roman Reigns winning their Rumble matches. I kept thinking for months it was going to be Roman winning this match. And for the first half of this match, I was slowly just not enjoying this. Brock Lesnar came out at number 1. Brock Lesnar to Rumble? Okay. Except for one thing. One little thing. Take a look at my graphic down below. What's he holding? What's he holding? That's right. He's the freaking WWE Champion! And he entered the Rumble match and didn't even put his title on the line. for what it led to, it ended up working. Even though the first half of this match I hated, because at the time I hated, but then it ended up working out. Um, but but the thing was that bothered me was, okay, if your world champion is going to be in the Rumble match, at least state your intention. So that's the fact that he wanted to go from one to eliminate all of them one by one. Okay, I get that, but once again, you're the WWE champion. What are you going to do if you win the Rumble match? That's the point of you being in the match, not just to make everybody look like idiots and you just show you dominated the world. What are you going to do? Face yourself? Or, Brock and The Fiend would have been a good match, but once again, what were your intentions for winning? That's what was missing from the story. But at least, I will say, even though I at first hated this performance he had, I will say at least, I'd say everybody except for one person that he made look like that he eliminated pretty quickly, I was fine with. They saved the bigger ones for the second half of the Rumble match. Number 2 was Elias, who came out and just been firing shots at Brock over on SmackDown. Brock had enough. They brawled. He eliminated Elias. Number 3, Eric Rowan came out with his stupid cage that eventually was shown to be his robotic spider. Waste of time. He eliminated him pretty quickly. Number 4, Robert Roode, recently returned from suspension, out quickly. Number 5, this is the only one I say that he eliminated, that like he was nothing, that pissed me off. John Morrison. They botched his return already by having him come back before Rumble and just show up on an episode of SmackDown in a backstage segment. And they barely give him any offense, and I'm like, dude, are you already regretting coming back? Yes, they gave him the tag titles, but he's on another end of his career right now at this point. He should be being built as like a main event superstar. Having matches against guys like Roman Reigns, or Drew McIntyre, or, who else? Or Bray Wyatt, or over on Raw, or Seth Rollins, against Aleister Black, against Edge now. Crap, I said it too soon. Or even Orton. He came back and freaking jobbed out to Brock Lesnar. And I remember, I was getting pissed at first when this match happened. I was already drained now because I wasn't sure about Charlotte winning the Rumble at first. But once again, as I said before, I've said how many times in this podcast, probably not as many times as Vince McMahon says, Monday Night Messiah, or too big for one night, all that bullcrap. But first, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm already not digging this Rumble. I already hate this. This is stupid. I don't like this at all, especially when he eliminated Morrison. Number 6, though, was Kofi. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Kofi has some history with Brock. Does he actually care? Or is Brock going to eliminate him like he's nothing? Kofi got some offense and actually knocked Brock down. So I'm like, okay, he's actually kind of getting that, like a little bit of like a redemption for losing them in 6 seconds. But once again, Kofi does not care. Number 7 was Rey Mysterio, who also had a history with Brock Lesnar recently. He came out and Kofi and Rey were working together to keep Brock down. It was working. Number 8 came out Big E. And I'm like, nice. So Rey and Kofi had rolled out of the ring. Kofi didn't do any fancy schmancy saves though this year at the Rumble. I was surprised, but I guess he was kind of running out of ideas. But they agreed to triple team up. We even saw Big E hit a big ending on Brock. And I'm like, sweet! Maybe this will have Kofi getting his revenge. Nah, Brock would then eliminate all 3 of them. So back to just Brock. Number 9 was Cesaro. And for a second I'm like, oh my goodness, Cesaro and Brock Lesnar should have happened at SummerSlam 2014. No, he barely got any offense in there and Brock threw him out like he was a nobody. Which at this point I was expecting. This was mentioned. Number 10 was Shelton Benjamin. And of course it had been established year before that Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar are good friends and former tag team partners in OVW or whichever heck it was. So he came out and acted like him and Heyman were cool, and then him and Brock were getting ready to basically, just be an alliance. I'm like, oh boy, could be a little dominant here. Could give Shelton Benjamin a rub. No, it was not. Brock then took him out and then took him down and took him out of the match. So he was gone. Number 11 was actually a dream opponent for Brock Lesnar at one point, Shinsuke Nakamura. Got like a little bit of offense in. He was out quickly as well. So like, okay, this is getting old now. When is someone actually going to come out here and do something about this? Number 12, surprise entrant, MVP Montel Vontavious Porter. I'm coming! He came out, I'm like, okay, cool, but you're about to get squashed too. Yep, he was out of there pretty quickly as well. Unfortunate. Number 13, though. This is when I'm like, okay, now it's time. We're cooking now. Number 13 was someone who I actually, to me, and I'm sure a lot of people thought as well, was also a fan favorite and a favorite personally. And CM Punk even said so on WWE Backstage. Oh, bask in his glory. Keith Lee came out at number 13. And like, it's on. And he had a good exchange with Brock Lesnar. I like that he actually dominated Lesnar for a portion. So it was the performance he for sure needed, and that we all wanted to see. He could have lasted a little longer, though, because number 14 was Braun Strowman. And then Strowman kind of, went after Brock. Instead of just, him and Lee teaming up to take out Brock, they basically got to each other, and then Brock eventually eliminated them both. But I will say, even though I wish it was longer, Keith's appearance in the ring is exactly what he needed. So Brock eliminates them. Then finally we get something a little bit different. Number 15 was Ricochet, who had recently confronted Brock on Raw the week before just to get kicked in the balls, but it was setting up for the eventual feud between them that basically had no build to it for Super Showdown, which was to lead to the burial of Ricochet. He came out number 15, then number 16. Here's where things started to turn around. Here's where I thought different of this Rumble. Like, okay, this first half now worked, except for, of course, the John Morrison elimination. But number 16 was my pick, who I wanted to win this Rumble match. Drew McIntyre. He comes out, he gets in the ring. He has a stare down with Brock Lesnar. But then, from behind, to get his comeuppance, Ricochet low blows Lesnar, and then Lesnar was just hanging out by the ropes. McIntyre lined him up perfectly. Bam! Claymore kicked his ass out of the match, and I popped. The first time, I would say, since maybe the final two, or maybe during the Bryan and Wyatt match, that I popped and I got excited. Like, okay, now we're talking now. Now we are cooking. But then I'm thinking, okay, at this point, you cannot even dare to get McIntyre eliminated from this match. He's got to win this now. Now, thinking about things now, if they were going to go with what, now originally planned, because now Roman's not going to be at WrestleMania, honestly, Roman winning the Rumble would have at least given him an excuse to face Goldberg, but at the time we thought he was going to be facing The Fiend, but at least they did set up the match this way. But still, Roman did not need to win this match, of course, I keep saying. So, of course, McIntyre would then eliminate Ricochet. But then any second he could, he just glared down Brock. He stared that son of a gun down, saying that, I want to take your title from you. He just had that glare. He was in the zone. After he eliminates Ricochet, number 17 was The Miz. And at this point I'm thinking, even though, of course, McIntyre would then immediately eliminate The Miz, I was like, okay, why couldn't you just have The Miz and Morrison switch? Like, have Miz be the one who took Morrison's spot in the Rumble, and give Morrison a little more time in the match. I didn't get it. But so, McIntyre eliminated Miz. Number 18 was AJ Styles. That is actually a match I'd like to see when McIntyre becomes world champion. AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. That'd be a pretty good match. This is actually also Styles' second Royal Rumble match, because he was in the 2016 one. 2017, he was the WWE champion. Same with 2018 when he faced Cammy. The year before, he faced Daniel Bryan for the championship. So this is the first time he was in a Rumble match since his debut. Number 19 was Dolph Ziggler. Number 20 was Carl Anderson. Why was the Club in this? I didn't get that. And they apparently said that, Rusev and Lashley were supposed to be in this match. They kayfabe took the bout, which I was like, okay, cool, fine with me, because, this match needs some more surprises anyways, but they replaced him with Gallows and Anderson, because Gallows came in later, well, after Styles was eliminated, because Styles was eliminated, I think, because of an injury he suffered. But then, nothing beats this moment. Nothing beat this. We had heard the rumors. It was kind of something I didn't want to say, I was kind of trying not to say, I'm not going to believe it unless I see it, but I speculated it because he speared Elias on the pre-show for SummerSlam back in SummerSlam 2019. So I'm like, I'm hoping it happens, but I don't want to get my hopes up. But it happened, and I popped. I went nuts. I still wish I was doing live reactions and would have gotten my reaction to this. Because number 21 was Edge. Edge came out, the crowd erupted. There had been rumors speculating for a while of Edge coming back. I still didn't think it was possible because of his neck injury. Triple fusion neck surgery. Literally was, as he said in his promo the following night on Raw, medically disqualified from all competition 9 years earlier. Told he would never wrestle again. And again, Edge was somebody that I wish I could have experienced live. Like him in the moment. And I got it. I'm getting it now. And he came out, the crowd went nuts. You saw the emotion. I'm just like, hell yes, this match is awesome. After hating the first half of this match, but didn't forgive you because of what it led to. Of course, anytime like, McIntyre in a second, he just stared down Lesnar, because Lesnar stuck around for a little bit until him and Heyman finally left. But anyways, Edge, awesome. Only thing is, though, is I heard they did fix it for the version now on the network, but the camera crew did not get the first spear when he came in. But Edge came in, speared everyone in sight. He was in this match for about 25 minutes. He looked excellent. Like, again, Kurt Angle looked horrible last year. Edge was out of the ring for 9 years. 9 years, and he looked excellent. 46 years old, but this is the man that, again, had to end his career on the doctor's terms. What if he could? He had the second neck surgery. He gave it the time. And then finally, he showed that he has grit, and he is able to come back and end his career on his terms, giving more hope. I mean, Daniel Bryan gave hope already when he returned from his concussions and such. Edge had, I think, a more serious neck injury than Bryan's concussions, like a rare case for him. And obviously, was like this when Paige had to retire, she had both ends. Daniel Bryan, saying, there is always hope, but also Edge saying there is also a lot to enjoy with life outside of wrestling. But you can tell, Edge wished he could come back and end his career on his terms, and he's getting that chance to do it, which is freaking awesome, because I get to see him wrestle live. And you never know, Paige. Maybe, just maybe someday we'll get to see her back in the ring again, which I would cry. I would literally cry if Paige got to come back and wrestle again. Love me some Paige, but also love me also some Edge. I popped. I was excited. I'm like, this is awesome. Again, he looked awesome in this match, Edge. He would then eliminate AJ Styles, but again, I heard rumors of reason why. Wait, he didn't eliminate him yet. I'm sorry. Number 22 was Mr. Everyone's being a big old meanie to me. King Corbin came out number 22. And I'm like, oh crap, him and Roman has not entered this match yet. Where did they collide yet again? And he'd be like, Roman's a big old meanie. He eliminated me from the Rumble. He eliminated me too harsh. I couldn't have a chance to regain my balance. He probably would have done some type of crap like that. Anyways, though, he came out number 22. And then this is when Edge eliminated Styles. But I think Styles was eliminated early because he did suffer a shoulder injury in this match, which kept him out of action for a little bit. I still think he's working hurt right now. Number 23 was Matt Riddle, who I also expected to be in this Rumble match. But he was eliminated pretty quickly. And with that and how Vince doesn't like the way he runs his mouth on Twitter towards like some of these legends, I definitely am a little scared for Matt Riddle to come to the main roster now. He should not have been eliminated that quickly, but he was. Number 24 was Luke Gallows. And then Drew McIntyre eliminated King Corbin, which was awesome to see. Number 25 was Randy Orton, who got in there and immediately reunited Rated RKO with Edge. And they took out Gallows and Anderson. Sweet! Number 26 was Roman. Obviously, he was getting booed because nobody wanted to see him win this. Number 27 was Kevin Owens. Number 28 was Aleister Black. Number 29 was Samoa Joe. And then number 30 was the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, who came out with the rest of his cronies, Buddy Murphy, who they were Raw Tag Team Champions with at the time, and the Authors of Pain. Of course, they surrounded the ring and just caused a lot of chaos. Because of this, they did Seth Rollins was a little bit Aleister Black. And they also took out Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. But they continued to brawl outside of the ring. But then, all of a sudden, Seth Rollins became basically... Remember when I said about how Nia Jax was kind of like, the biggest heel that everybody just wanted to beat up? Yeah, Seth Rollins had that moment. Because, of course, they did attack everybody else in the match, but they didn't... There was some they didn't eliminate, like the final 5, which we were at this point. So basically, once AOP and Murphy were gone, Rollins was allowed to fend off himself. He thought he had Roman. Nope. Edge wouldn't help him. Orton wouldn't help him. And McIntyre certainly did not either. So they all took a turn beating down on Rollins before Rollins got officially eliminated by Drew McIntyre. So the final 4 was Rated RKO's Orton and Edge, and then Roman and McIntyre. And of course, I'm all in on Drew McIntyre. I mean, if Edge would have won, cool. But I didn't expect Edge to win. So they basically double teamed until they're celebrating a ring, and then Edge eliminated Orton. Basically, I know you're gonna sneak up on me, which of course led to what happened the following night. So it came down to Edge and McIntyre, and Edge and Roman had a good back and forth thing, and then I was waiting for Roman to spear Edge, but instead Edge speared Roman. I'm like, tasting your own medicine there, Roman. Eventually, they would brawl to the outside of the apron, and Roman would eliminate Edge. I know a lot of people did not like that, but I'm like, it's whatever to me. It's just a Rumble. He eliminated Edge. I'm like, I didn't expect Edge to win. So it came down to Roman and McIntyre, and I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And Roman, had McIntyre on the edge. He saved himself. And then Roman was set up for a spear. He went for it. Claymore kick by McIntyre. I'm like, yeah, he got it. He got it. And yes, he did. Threw Roman over the top rope. Drew McIntyre is your 2020 Men's Royal Rumble champion. Within a few weeks, McIntyre became probably the biggest babyface in the company and became a main eventer. And he has just been killing it ever since. Challenged Brock Lesnar to the WWE Championship for WrestleMania. The build's been awesome. I just feel really bad that it's gonna happen from in front of an empty crowd. Honestly, I'm kind of hoping they tell this story where Lesnar feels he's met his match, and he kind of gets the cause of disqualification or a count out to retain the title. Something we haven't really seen Lesnar do yet. But my thing is Lesnar's already lost to people though. How would that kind of make a difference, in my opinion? But I'm kind of hoping that happens because McIntyre deserves to have this moment in front of a live audience. He deserves it. Again, he is somebody that both the WWE and the fans are both behind. Just like Rhea Ripley. But like I said, it's just, he's worked so hard. He deserves this for sure. It's a shame he's going to be doing it in front of nobody, unfortunately. But McIntyre wins the Rumble. It was a career-defining moment for him. I'm happy for him. And with that being said, guys, that's actually the end of my review. I thought this was a great show. Gave it a B plus. I mean, it wasn't a perfect show. I mean, the weakest match in the card was still Lacey and Bayley. All other matches I thought were pretty good. The men's Rumble match was my match of the night, personally. And yeah, a great show that definitely got me excited for WrestleMania. And unfortunately, slowly that faded away. But, what can you do? So I give this show an A minus. Let me see here what we got here. In the live chat, we have, he thinks Shayna's overbooked. He was shocked like Fozzen when Edge came out at 21, and if Edge had ever got injured, he should have been in the Final Four with Drew, Roman, and Edge. So I guess no, or maybe we'll had Orton being living number 5. Maybe, who knows? But that's gonna do, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for this live review of the Royal Rumble from 2020. We have 3 pay-per-views left to review. On my part, that I chose to review. The catch up. That's the next one will be NXT Takeover Portland. Then we got AEW Revolution and Elimination Chamber. So basically, one in NXT, one in AEW, one in the main roster in WWE. Like a plan? Awesome. I'll definitely get to Portland tomorrow. Maybe I can finish these reviews by the end of the weekend. We'll be all caught up for time for Mania. Sounds good to me, and I can get back to some other things as well. So, as far as like a special stream goes, so I did decide, I'm not sure when I'm going to do it yet, hopefully next week or the week after, but I have a special stream coming. So, most of you guys know, usually myself and Daniel Gaiza, we do an end of the year awards video. Unfortunately, our lives just didn't really work out to be able to do it this time, so I talked to today, he doesn't plan on doing it. So I still have my answers, so at some point in the next week or so, I will do a stream giving my answers to our end of the year awards video. So I'll do it on this channel. It's going to be kind of like my first big special stream since coming back. Also, guys, if I haven't mentioned already, make sure again to check out my my review on the Dark Side of the Ring Chris Benoit edition. Make sure to check that out. And also, as I hype up again, get some excitement back for WrestleMania, even though it's not going to be that good this year, check out my WrestleMania documentary from last year as well. My experience at WrestleMania 35 last year. But yeah, let's go do, guys. Again, Rumble to me, the whole show gets a B+. I gave the Women's Rumble a B. The Men's Rumble gets an A- for me. But yeah. So, guys, once again, what were your thoughts on the Royal Rumble pay-per-view this year? What were your thoughts on, again, what were your thoughts on Brock Lesnar being in the Rumble as the WWE Champion, but having no idea what he was going to do when he wins that title? What was your match of the night? What were your thoughts on McIntyre winning? What were your thoughts also on the current shakeup for WrestleMania because of what's been going on with the coronavirus as well? Make sure you thoughts down in the comment section below, guys. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at Demando93. Again, make sure to also check out my review of Dark Side of the Ring, Chris Benoit, and also, you can also check out my WrestleMania Experience documentary found in the description box down below as well. So, guys, that's it. I'm checking out. I'll see you tomorrow for my NXT TakeOver Portland live review, which to me was one of the best takeovers I've seen. Not the best, but I think it ranks up there as one of the best ones for sure. So until then, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you all later. Have a great rest of your night, and peace out, everybody.